Hey guys, so in today's video, we are going to cover some of the jargons that of late has come up in the SEO industry, and they are typically around the AI frenzy that is going on in the SEO industry. So we'll tackle what is AEO, GEO, LLMO, and all of those kind of things. And I'll try to simplify it in a way that even if you have never done any SEO, you should be able to understand what they mean and why is it relevant for you. And this is particularly for marketers who are interested in understanding this vast world of SEO. All right. So before we begin, I think what we should start off with is understand what is SEO and be on the same page for it, right? SEO stands for search engine optimization. SEO is basically finding out what your target audience is using as a platform to search online, finding out what they search, and if it's around a topic that is relevant for your business, you would want your content to show up and add value, or either solve it or add value to the search result, right? That's basically SEO. That's all there is, right? Now, there are different techniques that SEO professionals use to um, to come up on search, to bring a website up on certain searches. But if I break it down into the fundamentals, it is basically trying to understand how the search engine works, what matters to it, what doesn't matter to it, and then doing those things to the website to ensure that the search engine is able to understand the content and you know pick it up whenever there is a search related to it. So what we are basically doing is that optimization of the content, right, and the website to ensure that the search engine can scrape it and understand it. Now, that's SEO. So what is AEO? AEO stands for Answer Engine Optimization. You must have seen a couple of instances when you search on Google, you would see that there is a sort of an answer that is shown in the search where you don't have to go and click on the search results to find out an answer to your question, but it will just give you what that means. So let me give you an example of it. And I'm going to share my screen to show you an example. So here in the screen that you see, you are you are looking at AEO in SEO. I'm searching for what is AEO in SEO. I didn't write the whole sentence. I just wrote AEO in SEO. And you see there is an AI overview that is showing. This part is basically an answer engine, right? Google is able to create a certain set of sentences which explains uh, AEO in SEO, right? Now, this is answer engine, right? And any optimization that we do for such kind of things is called answer engine optimization, or AEO in short. The other term that is commonly used is GEO, generative engine optimization. It's very similar. It's basically any search engine that is generating an answer, right? So all of these are not just search results, but answers. So at its core, there is really no difference between an AEO and a GEO. You can call it an answer engine or a generative engine, but they mean the same. Now, in fact, because there are like these two terms that are commonly used, you can also choose what to call it. You can call it AEO and it will still mean the same. However, if I look at in general which of the two terms are more popular, generative engine optimization is more popular than answer engine optimization, right? You can see the graph going up substantially over the blue line, which is answer engine optimization, right? All right. Now, so that's AEO and GEO. Now let's come to LLMO. Now, you might have heard of the term LLMs, which stands for large language models. Now, the popular ones, the tools that you would most probably be using, like ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, all of these are different LLM models. Now, LLM is, as I said, basically stands for large language models, and LLMs are basically predictive models, right? So what I mean by that is every time you ask a question to an LLM engine, it is basically predicting, it is creating a set of words that make sense and predicting what should come next, right? So it's a predictive model. When you're dealing with LLMs and you're trying to come up on search, so if you, let's say, search on ChatGPT and say that AEO and SEO, the similar query, you would also, find an explanation by ChatGPT, and that is slightly different from a generative engine. And the reason is that um, the model used to get an answer is large language model. So any optimization done to come up on LLM searches like ChatGPT, Claude, and all of that, they are that's LLMO or LLM optimization. Now, a few more things before I kind of wrap up all this is that one, LLMO or LLM optimizations is kind of quite popular of late. And you would, if you follow any SEO consultant or professional, you would see that their social media, LinkedIn timelines will have a lot of mention about LLMO and other things related to it. Um, I want to put an honest opinion here, and that is that because it's a predictive model, there are two main issues. One is that it's still an evolving area, and because it's an evolving um, landscape, it means that any kind of optimization that we do today may or may not work later on. So I'll give you an example. Till August of 2025, you had a clear hack to come up more on LLM search, and that is to put more content on Reddit. And LLMs used to scrape the Reddit content and show up. So if you were a, let's say, a a seller of, I don't know, hair care, right? You could write a lot of content on Reddit, and the chances of you showing up on LLMs would increase, right? This was anecdotally proved, and a lot of SEOs at that time were promoting that, hey, write on Reddit, write on Reddit, write on Reddit. In fact, there is a Neil Patel blog post on Reddit SEO where he explains all that. Now, come September of 2025, this was removed. Like ChatGPT reduced Reddit citations, which means that if you had planned a strategy in August saying that, okay, for the next 6 months, we are going to, you had told your content marketers that start posting on Reddit, suddenly after a month, you have to change your strategy. What I'm trying to say is when it comes to LLMs, you don't have an SEO strategy as such that can be made. All of these are just tactics or hacks that work for a brief moment of time, right? You want to do it, you can, but that's the caveat to it. The other is that, as I said, because LLMs are predictive models, it means that you may not be able to completely understand why it is giving an answer that it is giving. You ask any of the AI experts, they would tell you that it is very hard for them to predict what the answer from an LLM would be, right? Which means that if they don't have control over what answer would LLM provide, all as part of LLM optimization you're doing is trial and error, right? And trial and error cannot be a strategy, right? Especially for big companies, right? You may try it for a few things here and there. You may try some hacks, but you can't be doing this as a long-term strategy, marketing strategy. So that's the problem with LLM optimization right now. So anybody who tells you that, hey, we do LLM optimizations, please keep this in mind that there is no set strategy in place. Google algorithms, on the other hand, have kind of the traditional Google search have a lot of things that they have already mentioned that this works, this doesn't work. If you want to come up more on search, do this, do that, and all of that. And SEOs work on that basis. So LMO, if somebody is selling you those packages, please bear this in mind. All right. Now, then the last question that can come is, as marketers, as senior marketers who are trying to create strategies for 2026, what should they do when it comes to AEO, GEO, LLMO, and all of that. When such kind of confusion happens, I think the best way to do anything is to go to the fundamentals. And the fundamental is 3 steps. One, find out which search engines do your target audience use. 93% would be using Google. What they search for in the on those platforms, and of all the things they search, which are the topics that you can either solve or you can give add value to. So if you're a hair care company, then anything related to hair, anything related to confidence, anything related to feeling feeling good about yourself, anything related to hair and all in general, those aspects, hair fall, all of those topics are useful for you. And try to create content that is valuable for your audience. If you stick to these basics, chances are that eventually, whether it is AEO, GEO, LLMO, or whatever, you will rank high and you will get the right audience. A strategy cannot be to just somehow trick a certain set of your audience to come to your website. That is not a strategy, right? Because just by coming to your website, it doesn't solve anything. Eventually, you want your products and services to be sold to that audience. And to do that, you need to engage with the audience and give them some value, right? So that they use that and they say that, okay, you are a business that they can trust, and then they do a business with you. I hope this helps, and I'll see you next time.